In this video, we are going to be discussing on some steps in which we can be able to change our problems, our adversities, our obstacles into advantage, into opportunity, into a building block. And how can we do this? Firstly, it starts from the mind. I'm going to make it a 3-video playlist. First part is basically going to be on the mindset. The second part will be some action steps, and then the third part is what to do from there. Now we're going to focus on the mindset. So most of the ideas I'm going to be sharing with this book is gotten from The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. So it's more like a book review, but it's far much more than that. It's an extensive book review. So the first thing is, it's up to you. Most of the times, many of us focus on what we can't control. There's something called the serenity prayer, and it goes something like this. Oh Lord, please grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't control, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The truth is that nobody really understands this prayer. Many people rather don't understand this prayer. This prayer means a lot, and most people don't understand the principle. It's basically telling us that it's up to you to make your life better. It's up to you to make your life better. Many people know this prayer in their head, but they don't apply it. It means the first part says, oh Lord, please grant me the serenity to accept the things you can't change. Meaning there are so many things you can't change in your life right now. You can't change some people around you. You can't change the weather. You can't change some circumstances that happen around you. But what can you control? What you can control is where you have powers. And when you focus on what you have power in, that power magnifies. Meaning when you focus on what you have, the potential with what you can use with what you have magnifies. With that being said, what do you have? The basic thing every human has the right or the power in them is basically they have power over their emotions, they have power over their determination, they have power over their judgment, they have power over their will, they have power over their decisions, they have power over their emotions. So these basic things are your basic power. So why don't you focus on, you have power over your reaction, your attitude. There are so many things that you have power over. So why not focus on these basic things that you have power over, instead of focusing on things that you don't have power over, whenever you're in a bad situation or in whatever situation you're in. The truth is, when you focus more on the power or what you can control, better still, what you can control, instead of calling power, what you can control, what your power magnifies when you focus on what you can control. But when you don't, your power diminishes, and it's basically time wastage when you don't do that. So I'm going to tell you today, every time you find yourself in a situation, always tell yourself, it's up to me. It's up to me. It's up to me to get better. It's up to me to get out of this situation. It's up to me. And you try and look into your heart, look into your situation, look at where you have an edge, look at where you have strength, look at the decisions you can make, look at that basic power you have to be able to win, look at that determination that you can be able to give into the certain situation, and make sure you come out strong, because in the end, it's up to you. The second part is about changing your mentality when it comes to obstacles and problem, is living in the present moment. The truth is, there is no best time or the right time to be alive or the right time to do anything in particular. It's just all about living in the present moment. But it makes me want to really talk about Nigeria as a whole. So I live in Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian also, and then this is just the kind of the first time. It just seems like the wrong time to be alive, like honestly. Like when I was little, I hear my parents or even adults talk about Nigeria being bad, Nigeria being this and that, but I never really felt it because everything was cool. I never really lacked anything. But this time around, even small children know that Nigeria is bad. Anyways, but that's just it. But even though in Nigeria, it seems like this is about the worst time to be alive or to be in this country or whatever. But the truth is, you just have to live. We live in the moment. We live every single time you're spending it in the moment. And once that time is gone, you can't get it back. So why dwell on the past? Why not embrace the moment? Why not embrace every time you spend? And you will find out most of the good things we have, everything that was created in this world today, emanated from a problem. Someone thought of an air conditioner. Why should it be done? Is because the person was feeling hot. Even a heater, the person probably was feeling cold. And everything that is made today, that we use today, was made because somebody thought of a problem. So when you're in a situation just like Nigeria is right now, I'm going to use Nigeria as a case study because that's where I live. So even if we're kind of rounded or bottled up in this whole situation, that everybody just complaining and all that, you just have to know that you are living in the present moment. So in this same problem, in this same riot, in this same everything that's happening, how can you be able to find the problem? How can you be able to live in the present moment and find something that you can be able to do that will impact your community, that will be able to impact your life or improve your own life in general? What I'm saying as living in the present moment is that always try to look at, instead of dwelling on the past, look at how you can be able to use the trouble you are facing currently in the present moment as an opportunity to be able to focus on the present moment, as an opportunity to be able to triumph, to be able to, as a catalyst, to be able to grow over whatever you're facing. So we live in the moment by focusing on what is directly in front of us every single time, and ignoring what it represents or what it means, or just focusing on finding that opportunity inside our problem and getting over with it. That's how you live in the present moment. Try not to dwell on the past too much. The third thing I'm going to talk about now is to think differently. Always think differently. So I'm going to use Steve Jobs as an analogy to explain what I mean. So many of us know Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Why am I even saying this? You're supposed to know him. All right. So many of us know Steve Jobs, but many of us don't also know what he was famously known for. He was known for something, which is the reality distortion field. I believe they gave him that name because of that. It is the ability to be able to convince yourself first, and then convince others that you can be able to do something or carry on a vision that seemed impossible, and convince people that and convince yourself that it's possible. As an entrepreneur, this is the kind of spirit that you ought to have. This is the kind of faith that you ought to have as an entrepreneur. Maybe not as a business person, but as an entrepreneur, because as an entrepreneur, you are there to create something out of nothing. So you have to have this faith and this at least a little bit of reality distortion field in you. To conclude this thinking differently, I'm just going to tell you to study the reality distortion field. I believe if you have that, you are good to go. You can be able to shift your mind, question basically everything. Think the flip side of everything, which we'll also talk about that. Just think differently and not just one-sided. So another thing now is to find the opportunity. I think almost everything I've said was always driving to this point about finding the opportunity. And the truth is, opportunity is almost evidently found in every problem. In almost every problem. Meaning there is a flip side to every negativity. What do I mean by finding the opportunity in your problem? Let's take, for instance, what's the best example to use? You were working on something on your PC and then it got erased. What is the opportunity over there? You have the opportunity to be able to start again, but this time with twice much knowledge. That's an opportunity. Let's take, for instance, I love to use business examples. So let's take, for instance, you made a business decision and it turned out to be wrong, costing you a lot of money, or costing you, staff, losing of staff, whatever disadvantage one can get, or losing of customers. What is the advantage over here? I know it seems like there's no advantage, you've lost a ton of money, but yes, there is. Which is the value of finding opportunities in your problem. What is the opportunity here? First off, as a scientist, when you make an hypothesis, because a business decision, which is normal in every business, accepting that is normal is a step to take in your mental to be able to overcome the obstacle and making it an advantage. But jumping over that, you accept that yes, it's normal, you made a business decision and it went wrong. And as a scientist that made a wrong decision or made a wrong hypothesis and tested it and it didn't work out, he doesn't get mad. Yes, he doesn't. But why are you getting mad? All right. Another thing is you now know your risk tolerance, which is another advantage in this same situation. You lost a ton of money, so next time you won't bet on too much of money when you are making a decision like that. These are just two advantages, and if you think deeper, you can even make more advantages out of every situation you're in. So the thing here is, there is a flip side to everything. There is basically a flip side to everything. This is not a half empty. There's a show I saw, I don't even know why I saw it, it's been long. This half glass full, the water is half glass full. I even believe that analogy is good, but I don't think it defines what I'm trying to preach to you here. Using the glass is half empty or is half full is still an analogy that you're trying to say there is a limit, meaning there is also negative and positive. But what I'm telling you here is to see through the negative. Like, let the negative not bother you anymore. It's like it's no more your problem, but now you now see the positive thing and you're acting on the positive. It's like a flip, total flip. Like, you're not even seeing the negativity anymore. So now it's not just a half empty bottle or a half empty glass of cup or a half full glass of cup. It's just a glass of cup you can drink from, basically. So try to find the opportunity in your situation, in your problem, in your obstacle, and definitely it's work out for you. The last step or the last mindset game is prepare to take action. Prepare to take action. Always be bold to act. Not just because you're a gambler and you just defy all odds and you jump out there and just do whatever you want to do, hoping that life is going to go in your favor, but because you've sat down and calculated the risk and everything, and then you are ready to take action, embracing the calculated risk. So now that we've talked about the perspective, we've talked about everything about your mind, it's the action steps you can take, and that will be the next phase of this video. I want to see you there, and I know that phase is going to be blissful. I will encourage you to like this video if you like what I'm preaching. Make sure you comment if there's any of these parts that really got your interest, if there's any of these parts that you kind of relate with, or if there's any of this part that just you just caught your interest, just highlight it on the comment section. To be greatly appreciated. Make sure you subscribe, and then peace be with you. Make sure you join the second class if you like this, and remember, the obstacle is the way. Bye.